Yes, they, now they look more like
Rubber suit.
reptiles, I
Yeah.
guess. Though I did hear somebody online. There's always somebody who's done their research far more than we have. They're like, in one of the technical manuals or books, there is a species of Gorn on the planets on the races that does actually have tails. So it doesn't mean that the other Gorns don't exist. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
There could be
That's
two
fine.
species of Gorn.
Sure. Why not?
You know, I thought it was like, again, this is like they ended with a horror movie episode. Like last season was like, episode 8, 7, or 8 is when they did the Gorn horror movie episode.
Hmm.
They ended with the horror movie episode. And I thought it was a good solid ending to the season that set you up for the next one. John, what were your overall thoughts with the finale itself?
Oh yeah, this had a combination of different vibes to me that really worked well. It had a little bit of like the best of Walking Dead back in the day.
Hmm.
Yes.
Trapped in this, what is essentially a small town. Clearly, they were like, "Let's film in Canada and make this cheap," and it worked. Like, what do we do here? And I was on the edge of my seat because it's like, yeah, every amazing plan they had was sort of countered, and then they're backed into a corner by Starfleet itself of like, yeah, here's the line, you can't cross it, and the people behind it are essentially lost to us until we figure out what's going on, and you know it was where you see that Pike and Kirk, the Jim Kirk, similarities of, yeah, no, I'm going to put everything. I'll put career at risk. I'm going to ask others to volunteer, but I'm not going to order anybody to do this, because he not only just wants to save, you know, uh, uh, the people, and of course his girlfriend, the captain, the Cayuga.
Captain
He
Patel. Yeah.
he's captain, who I think she's a great counterbalance for Pike. By
Oh,
the
I
way,
like her a lot.
really knows how
Yes.
to call him out, and that was great in Subspace Rhapsody. But the idea of like, yeah, what would you do in that situation? Well, you probably do what Pike does, and it's a really difficult, thing to attack him on. It's like, no, I would do that. But man, it was so well done that you're trying to figure out, what are the Gorn after here, and their whole methodology. That there's a whole, there's a whole series of tactics they use to isolate, to invade, to everything else. They are terrifying. They are terrifying, and that's something I think that we haven't had in Star Trek since the Borg, and certainly the early Borg, of being like, oh, wait a second, this is more than just whose phasers are more powerful than the others. The Gorn are terrifying.
Oh, very much so. I mean, in the original series, they destroy Cestus 3, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I
right.
think so.
So
Yeah.
we know they're terrifying, even though they were in plastic rubber suits back then. But yes, they're very. This episode, when this episode started, now we talked about this earlier, about Easter eggs, but also these people, these showrunners, I think not only throwing in Easter eggs to previous Star Trek, but to just science fiction in general. First of all, the setting for Parnassus Beta looks like Smallville. I thought it was Smallville. My God, I was looking for the for a kid to walk down the street in a red jacket and blue jeans, and a tall kid looking like Clark.